Hello, it's me, I am back and welcome back to Roboquest. It has been some time since I covered this game. Well, since the last video I've made, I haven't even touched the game. But the other day I got a whole day time off from my PC and kinda got me thinking about this game. When I got home and checked out their Steam page, I realized I've missed a lot of new content. So today we are going to check out the Autumn Major Update, also the upcoming 0.80 update because they just released the playtest. So let's get through this. Before I get to the video, I gotta say the upcoming 0.80 update have been released and I am late. You can go and check it out right now. Visiting back to the other video I made about this game, I noticed that I made a lot of comment about the map design and their aesthetics. Here's a quote from that video. For the most part, they did a good job on decorating the terrain. It's just sometimes I got bored with it, because one whole level looks so similar. It feels like they created a small part of it and then copy and paste it, then move something here and there. But I don't know, I'm just speculating, but it sure feels like it. That pretty much summarized my feeling towards the map design. It's not that bad, but it's just flat and looks the same, especially around the energy center. But in the Autumn Major Update and this latest playtest, they have reworked some of the map. And it got me excited to check it out, so let's take a look at it one by one. First up, the fields. And I gotta say, this looks amazing. It makes the old field looks terrible. Like they always have this like yellow and green hay on the wall and everything. But the old map was missing the detail this hay needed to actually looks like hay. The new fields are more enormous and spacious. It captures the feeling that we are actually inside of a facility instead of a kid's playground that the old version have. I like how they now added a lot more shapes to the wall decoration, which can be seen inside the checkpoint section of the map and the platform that the player can play with, instead of just fitting in blocks everywhere. Now they have more custom structure to put on the playing field, more elevation and more ways to reach the next part of the map. And I really appreciate their effort for decorating the terrain. Now they have more attention to detail, like these grasses sticking out with some flower in it. They added this small kinda garden, making a platform from a hay bale, with some of it spilling out to make the map more alive. Also a couple of trees to make the entire facility looks grander. Moving on, a lot of the point I said before can be applied to the Aqua map rework. For a reminder, this is how it was and this is how it is now. Now this looks like some kind of advanced water treatment. They added much more needed structure that are missing in the old map that led them to be looking like a huge sewage. I like the orange color they use for some of the platform. It make them stands out a lot more and just make the whole map much more nicer to look at. A bit different from the field, I think they are going for a more of a close quarter combat while maintaining the flow of the movement mechanics. I must say, I really like playing around the new Aqua map a lot more because it makes you use your vertical movement a lot. Rather than just driving left and right, this map now lets you take advantage of your double jump and other things that let you do aerial things. Now the energy center, I'm not sure what to say for this map. They stated in their Steam community hub that the visual changes of Energy Center are mainly aimed at making it feel more different than other levels in the Act 2. And the level design changes are aimed at making the pacing and flow more pleasing. Some part of the map do feel better to play with, it lets you move more freely and use your ability more. But some part of the map still feels like the old Energy Center, just kinda stretched to make it more spacious and for the player. Yet they add nothing in the middle of the arena to play with other than these trenches. And I can barely even see those trenches because the map is so monotone now. Yeah, they added other color here and there, but it's just these lighter strips or a dim light, while the dark color take over most of the screen. It's worse because most of the enemies also have a dark tone. A lot of the weapons also have a scrap worn out tone that are also dark. Even the new model for the player hand are also dark. There are shadows in the map which add even more darkness. Also, a lot of the texture on the wall and the ground that make the map feel full, like the cables and other electrical things, are missing in the rework version, which led them to feel flat and empty. Apparently they move it up to the horizon. I mean, the horizon looks great, but I only really look at it like once per run anyway. Maybe it's my personal preference or maybe it is what they want, but you know, it feels like I'm looking at a blank black canvas. So these are the new weapons that they added to the game. They got flag cannon, they got Tommy gun, something that came straight out of the 90s. They got light machine gun, just your typical LMG. Blast arbalest, a crossbow that shoots energy wave dealing AoE damage. Ball cannon, a gun that shoots big balls and bounces everywhere if fully charged. And blast palm, let your hand shoots a small projectile that kinda home to enemies. Honestly, these guns are fine, I'm just not a fan of them. Get a new sniper and then we'll talk. New thing they added to the weapon categories are weapon mods. So simply, they added a system where weapons have a chance to spawn with an alternate fire. So much more weapons are going to have an alternate fire rather than only a specific weapon. So as a result, they removed the base alternate fire of some weapons. Honestly, I don't really use the alternate fire that often, so I don't know if this is a good thing or bad thing to do. But from what I saw recently, the alternate fire that spawned on my gun weren't that useful after all. It's either shoot a laser beam or multiple projectile like shotgun. Also, they have a limited charge that cools down like a hot chocolate in the summer, so... Alright, perks. Something you get after a level up are now a little bit different than the last time I played. Here's a quote from their community tab. Perks no longer have a level 2 and 3, instead they have a bundle of 3 to 4 unique upgrades. Every 2 level makes you able to choose an upgrade for one of your perk instead of choosing a new perk. Maximum number of perks set to 4. They say this way it's easier for them to kinda balance the perk more and should feel more like we are building or specializing the character to a more specific direction. And yeah, I think that is true. I do feel like I was building my character to play with a specific playstyle. So far, it has been fun mix and matching the perks, like even if you get the same perk, you can still have a different upgrade that lets you to play differently than the last upgrade you choose. It definitely makes leveling up much more exciting and the wide range of possibility will make the game even more replayable. So remember cores, the cube with colors that give you weapon stats bonus, now they are gone and they replace it with items that you can carry and swap up to like 3 of them. They also grant a bonus weapon stats, but now they also grant a more specific bonus. I think there are 1 or 2 items that you can only find in a specific character, or at least just the buffs. Or maybe I'm just high on sugar, I'm not sure, but this creates even more specialization for your character or playstyle, especially in the weapon you use throughout your run. For the bosses, they have added 2 new bosses, or I think one of them are coming back. The new boss is Billy Boom, looking like a big ball with arms and legs that will blow you up if you don't turn off the switch. Honestly, this boss is not even a challenge, even for the first act. I think they should buff this guy if they want to keep it as the first act boss. On the other hand, the one that is coming back, the Catercoaster, a huge robot looking like a caterpillar, riding through the rail like a choo-choo train, have a good amount of challenge. There are more things you need to be aware of and a harder critical spot to hit. But I really appreciate their effort for making the playground of these 2 new bosses more interesting than the other. Like Billy Boom's arena are surrounded by a pool of toxic water, and the Catercoaster have this toxic water that keeps raising up as time goes by. I would love to see if the other bosses have a more interesting arena as well, rather than just a small flat ground, or maybe a boss that interact with the environment. For example, they are able to throw a pillar to you, or you need to make it crash to a nearby rock, or you know, these little gimmicks. Other than that, there are a lot of other small changes like the UI design, other models inside the game, some new animation for the enemies, and there are a lot of number changes that I'm not gonna read one by one. You can read it for yourself. I'll probably leave a link to the Steam page if I remember to do so. One thing I need to add is the mouse input delay. I feel like my mouse input delay have gotten worse since the last time I played. I don't know if it's because I'm playing the playtest version or because of the recording or just my own PC who decided to give up last second. But every time I relog into the game, there's a chance that I can feel the mouse input delay. Okay, that summarizes all the things I want to talk about. It has been fun coming back to the game after a long time. This update actually make the game more worth it to explore and play more, especially after they added these small audio logs to kinda collect around the map. I haven't found it all, but yeah. I hope you enjoyed the video, and you, probably the only one to make it till the end, maybe help out the channel by leaving me a like and a subscribe. Have a nice day and chill out a bit, you'll be fine.